was it?
Yeah, everything's fine. I'm just, wondering if I should have even come.
Hello? Give me that! Oh my! Hey, good to see you, buddy. Don't ever do that again. You're staying in the house with me here?
Oh yeah, isn't that great?
That's what this weekend's all about, right? Having fun, cutting loose. Just like in high school.
Hey, we were just talking about you.
Really? Oh, yeah. Little high school gossip, huh?
What the hell is this?
I'm not gonna use it. It's just for insurance.
Not sure if you got my text, but I am in town for a day for like a class reunion.
Does he still live around here?
Okay. All I know is I'm headed to the bathroom, right? First class, first day. I turn the corner and I see you-know-who slamming Teddy Meyer's face into a locker like 3 or 4 times until this kid drops.
I'll just leave you two to whatever it is you're doing in here.
Oh, it sounds to me like you're trying to do something, so you want to say, just say it.
Stop!
Charlie, I'm not gonna ask again. Where is he?
This psycho was literally trying to imprint this kid's face into the locker. Crazy, right?
Thank you so much for the opportunity to sit and talk to you, all of you tonight. This was a triumph. This was really fantastic. I really enjoyed this film. You're gonna see a very nice glowing review from me. I'm curious, the evolution. You guys talked about it in the Q&A a little bit about it being shot for 9 days, really 10 if you count the pre-production day. It sounds like, but the evolution of the idea and creating it. Did you guys? Was there something about you wanted to make a feature and this was kind of the vehicle trying to get something that was kind of, very indie where you could do it in one space kind of idea? Was that the plan?
100%. Yeah, it was completely reverse engineered. Where we've been making short films on our iPhones with no budget. Just our friend, he would hold the camera and I would act in front of it, and that was pretty much it. We'd hire a sound guy sometimes, but we knew we wanted to make a feature. I'd never done it. Didn't know really how to take that step. As a fan of the Duplass brothers and kind of what they do, and they're make your $10,000 movie and all this stuff, and they're big proponents of don't write a movie that takes place on Mars if you don't have any money.
Yeah.
That is feasible to shoot. So we started watching a bunch of one location movies for inspiration, a lot of Hitchcock and among other films that we watched, and just said, how can we make it interesting with a few characters in a house, and just went from there.
And the tone came with kind of discovering the characters and putting things together.
Yeah, well, we knew we wanted to make a thriller because we wanted to keep it interesting in 90 minutes in one house. We thought, well, the best way to do that is to make it intense, I think. But we just are big fans of thrillers too.
Yeah. How did everybody else get involved in the project?
Him and I had just started dating fairly early on, and he was like, hey, I'm writing this script and I have never made even a short film.
You just threw her right in.
She didn't know anything about, it worked to our advantage that she didn't know anything about filmmaking.
I didn't know anything about filmmaking.
Can't be that hard.
Nothing. I have all my knowledge of filming was like I would or films was I would go to the theaters and see what was popular at the box office. Mm-hmm. Like that's it. That was as much as I knew. And I knew there are certain things that I liked. I love TV shows. Big TV show fan. And we started talking about this script, and I was like, well, and he was like, look, we just want to make it. I don't care if I'm making it on an iPhone with no sound. Like, I just want to say that I've made a feature. It's a goal. And I was like, well, how hard can it be? He's like, well, we gotta raise a lot of money. And I, at the time, was I still do social media influencing. I have a access to a large platform of people. And we were like, well, how can we raise some money? And I said, well, I just recently sold a program and it did really well. We could do another one. And let's just do it. How hard can it be? How hard can it be? Come on, I've been on YouTube for so long. I was acting in a movie about a month ago, and you guys, we have the trailer, we have our crowdfunding campaign for post-production, because we basically only had enough money to shoot the movie. Now we have to get it edited and distributed and all these different things. So I will leave a link to the crowdfunding campaign if you guys want to just share it with your family and friends. If you guys just want to let me know what you think about the trailer, you can also contribute on there if you wanted to. There's obviously no pressure to do that at all, but anything little helps so much, and I appreciate it so much. Oh my god. If only I'd known, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Well, yeah, you know what it takes to make it.
I didn't know, so I was like, let's just do it. And he was like, okay, cool, let's do it. David was a certified personal trainer, so I was like, why don't we collab? I'll sell it. You can be a part of it. You can be the personal trainer part, and we all got just collectively involved, and we raised the first $10,000, and from there we're like, okay, we have 10 grand. That was the first step.
That should be good.
That's
10 grand
more than we thought.
Really, we were expecting to shoot. I was like, if we have to shoot this in 2 days in our 2-bedroom apartment, we'll do it. We just want to feature. But the 10 grand allowed us to take the next step, which let's hire somebody, maybe a DP, and that's where Josua came on and really stepped up and has been a part of the project from basically when the script was just finished. You came on board, and you were an essential part of not only pre-production and production, but post-production too, and obviously valued input. But yeah,
he brought us all the best people. I mean, he's so knowledgeable. He was like, yes, we can do it. He was the one who said, okay, yeah, we can do this on 10
This is
grand,
before
whatever.
You saw the house.
I helped them choose the house, but because when you're filming, I mentioned this in the Q&A. It's like, look, if we're gonna do this, if I'm gonna invest my time into this, because I'm not gonna make any money on this, the end product needs to be something worth showing and that I want to be proud of. Yeah. The house, for example, we were looking at some other houses and that weren't great, and I was like, guys, if we shoot at this house, we might as well not do it. It's like casting. Yeah. And if we don't have an art department, so it's got to be the way we want it to look, and then we just need to augment. And so
he put so much time and effort in, way past how much we could ever repay you in any way. But you were a part of it in such. You brought us the crew. You went out of your way to look at locations. He did way
everything.
I remember for the first day of the pre-light, we were there, and we were getting our gear delivered, and I'd ordered a 3-ton truck of Griffin Electric, and then we had a tow plant generator. so Nick is there waiting, and all of a sudden this convoy of trucks starts pulling up the coal tank. He's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "This is our equipment." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Dude, we're making a movie here." Up until what do you think we're doing? We're doing this for.
I remember that, unloading all the stuff and being like,
we're like, we're gonna use all this? We'd only shot with this and lav mics up until that point. It was like, so all this equipment was like, wow, we looked at each other going like, we're making a movie?
Our neighbors felt the same way. The neighbors of the came out, they said, excuse me. It was like, okay, I gotta go to Walgreens, I gotta get everyone chocolate and wine, because this is gonna take us first.
Josh's trailer showed up.
Yeah, that's right. That was the biggest one. That's why I'm late to this interview.
Give me that! Oh my god, dude, you scared the shit out of me. Oh my god, hey, good to see you, buddy. Don't ever do that again. You're staying in the house with me here?
Oh, yeah.
So how did the actors get involved in the project?
You go first. I did have to audition. I've known Nick for many years.
No, you didn't have to audition.
You did make me audition.
You did not.
I auditioned against James Hawthorne.
In
a theater.
that was
one-on-one. I looked at my competition and said, "You're going down, bro."
No, we did that as a favor to him because he wanted to be there. But it was you had done one of our short films before and played kind of a similar character that he plays in this, and we knew he
based it off of it.
We knew, the role was written for you.
Yeah,
So
especially the misogyny, and you guys really nailed it.
And then Phillip came on just from we put the breakdown out on Actors Access, and he submitted, and
then I just got the audition. So something that, as an actor, and listen, I'm not friends with these guys. Now I am, but it's a testament to their work,
Yeah.
I was working on another film, Once in a Blue Moon with Larry Sweet. She actually helped me read for this part, but between the two of us, she's my acting partner, so we do tapes,
Yeah.
and you get the same sides, same stuff. I got this thing, and I just stopped what we're doing. We were working on that film, and I said, I need you to just read this. And she read it, and she's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "I think I need to put this on tape right now," because and it was something that I wanted to do. As an actor, you do TV shows, you do all kind of films, but when you get something like this is like, I guess what the actor can say, like, you want to sink your teeth into. So as soon as I, did this, and I jumped on it. That's why I got the tape too fast. I was like, this is it. I don't know what's going on.
he turned it around quick. I mean, we gave actors a week to turn a tape around, and he turned it in like the next day.
Yeah.
And he was the only actor that we wanted to turn a tape in because we're offering pretty much no money to do this thing, and it was a 10-day shoot, and we're like offering like $600 or something like that. So it's
You got
just
$600? I had to pay him.
First they said crackers.
But I remember seeing, Nick and I were on opposite sides of the country when we were doing the casting. I think we saw it separately though, and we're like, oh, this guy, like,
we both had
this guy
access to
was
the
like,
camera.
yeah, like this guy was,
Because you can
this
see
guy's
the
really good. Like this guy,
Stop. Yeah.
no, really, and we're like, yeah,
we're like, I hope he agrees to do it. Because no one else was. Oh, this isn't like an open forum.
Producer has a question.
Because I've seen your tape and it is really, really good. And I'm like, how did you turn that in a day? I'm like, tell me your secrets.
Well, there's it's just like, it's all you guys. Like, you wrote something awesome and then you show up for it. And I was like, okay, I gotta just do it. And I don't know how many takes we did, but I just kept going. And I'm like, no, I think I can go in more and like really try to see what's going on. And, it's just that, like, it's just when you're excited about something and you show up for it. And, that's kind of my problem now is like when I get stuff and then my manager's like, why don't you want to turn this tape? And I'm like, I kind of did this already and this is not very exciting. I know it pays, but so for me, it's like, this is the stuff where I'm like, I'm gonna, come in here and try to kick butt.
And he brought us Jackie, who played Charlie, they done a couple movies together. One of them that had played at
all of them.
Cinequest.
All of the movies that I have, the Jackie's been in.
Yeah, so he brought her, and she was fantastic. And then Donald Clark Jr., who played my brother in the film, was a high school buddy of mine. We played.
Awesome.
We did high school theater together and played baseball together on the East Coast. So.
Was the intention for you to always act in it?
Yeah, I was going to play the Dustin role originally when we were writing it. I was
No
planning on
way!
playing Dustin, and then I was writing these scenes for Liam, going like, I'm going to be jealous of whoever gets to play that character because the scenes are fun. It's like the bathroom scene and then coming into the room while they're like, it's just like I
didn't know that. That's
and
so cool.
The Dustin role is very understated, and I was like, it's not going to be that fun to do that. Like I've done that before. I've usually cast as the super quiet guy or like the bad guy, and I was like, I've done the quiet thing a lot, so I wanted.
And he crushed it. I mean, our actor for that worked so hard.
He
day
got
and
cast
night.
like 2 weeks before the thing.
And Dustin was like the biggest surprise out of the entire thing.
He surprised all of us because he's a buddy of mine, like I said, but
He is not like that in real life.
No, he's the complete opposite, and he only plays usually goofy role. He gets cast as like goofballs, and we had no.
So
idea.
he was excited, I imagine.
He didn't even know. He really wanted to do it. He auditioned for Reese, and then and we're like, well, you can tape for Dustin, but you're not the guy. We wanted kind of someone that was a physical presence that. Either tall or maybe really muscular, and he wasn't those things, and so we were like, you can tape for it, and then we called him and said, it's not going to work out, and then a few weeks went by, and it was like 2 weeks before we were going to shoot, and he called me and was like, hey man, I think I'm just going to be in town. Can I like be an extra in one of the party scenes or something? I just want to see you guys work. I was like, how about you play Dustin? He's like, what? Really? And then he just dove right into it.
I was pretty set on having someone like that we had originally in mind, like with the president. We wanted to base it off kind of like a Tom Hardy character, like a brooding, like a physical presence. But I remember Nick really had a vision for what Donald could bring to it, and
It took me time really because again we hadn't seen like that, and his auditions weren't what we had in mind. It wasn't until like we showed up on set and he was recording that first scene, which is the confrontation in the bedroom, and we were watching the monitor. And I'm just like, That's what it is. You believed in him from the start, though.
I did. It was Team Donald from the beginning.
Yes. And I have to apologize. No, go ahead. Keep going.
No,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, because you don't know. This guy is so funny and charismatic in the scenes. I could not keep a straight face. A bathroom scene? Like,
I have a take of us for like 2 minutes just laughing.
Yeah, he's cracking me up, and I literally turning my back to the camera. And
Even during the table read, we were dying laughing during that scene because it's so ridiculous.
It's so funny.
So
yeah.
silly.
So,
but.
yeah.
You know, this sounds like a massive collaboration. Like from the beginning, it sounds like you involved everybody. You brought everybody in. Everybody got input. Everybody got a chance to collaborate. Talk a little bit about, because I think building that intimacy is key and paramount in selling this story a lot. Was that kind of the idea behind it? Or you're just naturally collaborative?
Yeah, I think I don't get when directors go, it's my vision and I don't want to hear from anybody else, because it is a collaborative medium. That's why we're all showing up there, and these are artists that we value and that bring so much to what they do. And also we'd only done a few short things, so a lot of it was too like, tell us, give us your input. We want it because we're figuring it out too. So we deferred to Josua a lot on how the look was. We knew we gave him some examples of what some inspirations and what we wanted to look like, but it was like, dude, I don't know more than Josua about any of this stuff, the camera, the lighting, any of that. And for the actors too, like these guys think about their roles way more. They're living these roles, so why not say, if they say, hey, this line's going to work better, great, I agree, or maybe I don't agree, but if we do, if it's better, if it's going to serve the story, great. And indie filmmaking is all about collaboration, and everyone's doing multiple things. But I mean, why not? You have these great people on your set. Why not listen to them and take their advice and input?
Yeah, but you did have a strong vision that made it easy as a collaborator to give into, because if someone's just like, just do whatever the fuck you want, and then it's like, you're like, well, I could go like 10,000 ways. But I was able to bring you stuff like, hey, how about this, and you knew what you liked and what you didn't like, which then made it easy for me to kind of find where it goes, and like, okay, I think this is what he likes, let's go into this direction, because you knew what you liked. And so, which made it, I think, easy to collaborate with you.
Well, that's what I learned about, the biggest thing I learned about directing is really just having taste, or knowing what you like, and being able to say, if you presented with a couple options, I like this or I don't like this, but you just have to know what you like, because that's the whole thing, is your taste. Or we were lucky that we had similar tastes, and we liked the same movies, and we had a similar vision for it, because that's really all it is. Like, as a director, it's your vision, so you're putting your you get to make those decisions. That's what makes the movie. All those little decisions combined make the thing what it is.
Nice.
I think a lot of it is trusting your original vision and the big picture vision, but then recognizing, like you're saying, that other people have been doing it for a long time as well. Other people can contribute and enhance that vision, and knowing of what is presented from other people, what you want of that.
A lot of times a shoot like this can be very claustrophobic, because that house probably was not that big. You made it probably a lot more bigger than it was, I would imagine, and especially with equipment and lighting and everything in there. And so, but it looked like to me that there was a lot of freedom for the actors, especially to move around, to not worry about, I have to be solid here, and talk a little bit about the freedom that you all had in moving around.
I think Phillip really nailed it when he said it feels like a play. I believe we shot it pretty much chronologically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which
helped, by the way.
Except for all our exteriors we shot on the last day of the shoot.
It just helped with continuity as an actor when you're thinking about, okay, I'm this drunk now, he drinks this, he gets that drunk later, and when you're shooting it in that way. But also, at first it was like, because I'll do a scene, I'm like, I'm a big person, I'm a big character in general, so I look over and he just like...
You don't say.
Yeah. I look over at him and he's just like, and then he'll come and tweak a little thing here and there, but it really is like, it was like playing.
Nice.
And sometimes I felt like I was getting away with too much, because I was like, no, you're not going to say nothing? That was okay, I can do that? Can I
Also, every time, because you're asking about spatial awareness in a way, like Josua, again, just crushed it. Like, every time Nick would be like, did we get that? Like, is that okay? Was that in frame? Josua was like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry. And he did every time.
So he handheld a lot of the stuff.
A lot of
your shoulder.
And that was Like a part of the approach was because we knew like, look, we're gonna have 9 days.
Yeah.
We need to be able to shoot 360. You know, we can't be like, oh, we can't go over here because we got a C-stand there. So we all the lighting was either outside the windows pushing in, or we had rigged stuff all over the ceiling. We had run little lamp wire that was going to dimmers that would go into an iPad. So we were more lighting the environments that they could play in, and then we could make adjustments based off of that because there wasn't anything on the floor. They could go wherever, and we'd do blocking rehearsals, kind of see where they land.
Yeah.
Then we'd go, okay, we need to augment here and there, but it was all primarily the actors exploring the space, and then we just would do some tweaks around that. But
the day you took to light it and figure out the lighting and the setups, I would imagine helped tremendously.
We had to do it. I mean, I think wasn't it almost 2 days? I mean, because
did we get a half day the first day or something?
I think we had a half day and a full, and then so I think we had a day and a half. So a day of loading in and that, and then we had another full day of lighting. But yeah, because we had. And because it goes chronologically throughout the day, so we had like our day exterior lighting, then we had our sunset lighting, which we had really big units outside, and then when we go and then we had blue hour lighting, so we just kind of had it like onions that we could peel back, and then when we go dark, we blacked out everything. And then we had points pre-rigged everywhere, so we could just move fast because we couldn't spend time lighting every scene. So every scene when we went into it already had a base level there, and then we just needed to quickly augment versus light from scratch, and otherwise it would have been completely impossible.
Also, who helped us? I wanted to give a shout out. Who brought on Yelena?
I was literally thinking we have to talk
our
about
AD.
Yelena. Our AD.
We got a first AD.
If it wasn't for her, this movie would. We simply would not have gotten everything we needed. She was.
Yeah, absolutely.
She kept
Keeping
us
sharp.
She was
a really good.
She was awesome.
She was amazing.
She nailed it.
She made some people cry, but she was amazing.
She was always saying like, I'm not afraid to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
She's like, I'll be the bad guy.
Not afraid to be the bad guy to make
You
this
need
movie
one of
happen.
those.
And
We had that because we were kind of goofing around a lot too. You know, surprisingly for the little time we had, we were fucking around a little bit too much probably on set.
Yeah.
So she was getting frustrated with us at times, but
she was definitely one of my biggest partners in getting this done.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. She was a great teammate for all of us. But yeah, we got her. I reached out to. I did an acting thing with Chapman University, and they had a directing actors program, and I just reached out to the professor of the class and said, "Who do you have that might be a good first AD and associate producer?" And it was actually Martha Coolidge is the professor down there. It's a famous director, but it was her assistant. Yelena was her personal assistant or her film assistant or something. But she and Josua were the first two people that we brought on, and they made the film.
There was a lot of discussion about things that could have been or should have been, or you were telling me that you know there was some things you'd look at whenever you see this film and you go, I wish we had gone a little further there, taken a little cut there. I don't want to know any of those issues. What I would love to hear from each of you is, what do you think you nailed?
I think the consistency.
Nice.
There are some scenes that are others really good, but I feel like seeing it now also on the big screen is like the look and the aesthetic is consistent and it feels like one cohesive movie with one cohesive vision.
I think I nailed having faith in this movie.
Do you have the bug now? Are you looking to do more?
Oh yeah, I've been acting ever since. It's been so fun.
Trying to get cast as the lead in a Lifetime movie.
But I feel like I really for a while there, everyone was kind of questioning, especially in post-production and everything, and it was just keeping faith that we are going to end up here, we're going to celebrate this. Everyone has put in too much work, and there's been too many great people working on this film for it to not be something great.
We set out to make a movie that was a little anxiety-inducing and kind of kept you on the edge of your seat, and the pacing, especially for the second half of the movie, especially, I think I'm proud of how it was paced and how kind of the feeling it gives you of that kind of impending doom. But
I guess when it comes to just the scale and the limited amount of time that we had, as a director, obviously everyone is creating the film, but you are on the spot for answers at every second. That did come true on set. It's really like they call a cut and people are looking at you. You have about 10 seconds to decide. Do you want to move on to the next one? Do you want to do it again? And for Nick and I know it's very stressful to kind of have all that pressure on you, and you're running a real set, and you have responsibility, and everyone's relying on you to have answers, and I think Nick and I both succeeded in doing what we need to do as directors, and I'm really thankful to have done it for the first time for a feature with Nick, because Nick, he was, if it was all on me or all on him, I'm sure it would have been a different ball game. But to have each other and to kind of be able to bounce off each other, but yeah, I feel satisfied that we were able to accomplish what we need to as directors.
I feel like that you can see his desperation for, like, his neediness for love. I think that's a redeemable quality, and I wanted him to be redeemable because on paper he's so, like, such a douche. Like, he's more funny to himself than anyone else, and I wanted him. I also wanted you to feel bad for him and like him too.
Yeah.
So I feel like I did get some sort of likability through, and that was my goal.
Good job.
Gave him depth.
You gave him depth. That's a hard question. So I never feel like I nail it. That's something that I'm working on. I never seen anything that I do and I'm like, yeah. But I will say that I think I nailed collectively, like you were saying, the collaboration. And I think that's what came through. Like I nailed
Can I say what I think Phillip nailed?
Please.
Is that freaking scene where he's like, Dustin! Dude, it's that was your favorite scene. He nailed it. He nailed
Every
it.
time I could just watch that.
And honestly, that got some of the biggest laughs. Was that
a lot of the stuff you did, I find hysterical, and I know a lot of people laugh during some of the moments, but like it's so funny, man. When you guys come in after you just met Dustin, and you're like, babe, come on, Dustin's here, and you like give her like a mwah.
Oh, the kiss. That's so good. It's money.
I think that also speaks to the depth, like I just said, depth. Like you gave that character a whole different side. Like I thought you could have been just one note, and it would have still gotten the point. You gave it a whole other layer.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, but it was a collaborative effort, and I think it came. Everyone had.
No. You.
What do you love about independent film? What keeps you making indie film?
When you're doing indie film, everyone's spotted. You have a good script, and everyone, top to bottom, is like, we're making this as a film. No one's there doing this as a job. Like, when you work on bigger productions and stuff, sometimes the scripts aren't great, or there's a certain thing of like, we're doing this, everyone's kind of like rolling their eyes at production for fleecing them on like a crazy long Saturday or something, and there's a certain cynicism that can set in. But I feel like with indie film, when done well, just that feeling of like, look, we're making a movie and everyone's here because we believe in this project, and then in the end you're like just proud of it because it feels like a little bit like alchemy. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think that we could say it better. I just feel like it's every single person. Nobody did this to make money. Nobody did this. I mean, he lost out on time with his family, with his little daughter. I mean, every single person put in so much of their time and effort, and that's what I had to keep reminding Nick when he was trying to produce, direct, act, do all the things, and like ripping his hair out and watching it and being like, I don't know if this is good, I said, so many people wouldn't have signed up and would want to be here to be a part of this if it wasn't something good that we've done in such a short amount of time. So that's what
I think it's like indie film is like it's what's so great about watching like a high school sports team or a college sports team, which is like, everyone's there because they love the game, because they love playing, and not because they're getting a paycheck. And it really is inspiring to see people come together for the art, give their all, and you see it in a lot of places. I saw Donald. We all saw Donald. The three of us, and Josh probably saw Donald do a play in Hollywood. He played Dustin. Like it was like after we'd written the script, but when we were in pre-production, he did this play, and it was a bunch of young actors, and they were giving it their all. It was blood, sweat, and tears for this play that not many people were watching, but it's like, that's what I want on the set of this movie. I want it to feel like that. Like these people are here and giving themselves to this thing because they love it, because it makes them happy, because it fulfills them in some way. But yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. I'm so proud of everyone. I'm super proud of it. So.
You're not even in the frame. There you go.
How about now?
Yeah,
You're in the frame?
Jurassic Park.